So you're in a hotel for the better part of 3 weeks. That's a long time away from home. What do you miss most?
My bed.
My name is Reggie Scott. I'm the Vice President of Sports Medicine Performance for the LA Rams, and I'm going into my 22nd season. We know through research one of the best ways to recover is through sleep. Recovery is critical in these guys. High workloads, high stressors on the field with the guys, and their bodies need to repair. And one of the best ways to repair is sleep. So we make sure that we try to educate the guys on sleep and try to give them the optimal environment to make sure that they understand how important sleep is, because we know where there's sleep, there's recovery.
Let's go! Oh, these pads add another dimension to this. Where to be locked in?
It starts with the person, right? Cam's he's such an amazing human being in terms of his approach and his approach to adversity. He's built the right way. He's a guy that takes on those things and he had the right mindset, and he took it one day at a time and he attacked it.
Stay mentally locked in, Cameron. Stay mentally locked in, Cameron.
So we see you out here at practice for what, maybe 2.5 hours, but What is a day in the life like at training camp? Like, what is your schedule run through?
Treatment in the morning, meetings after that, more treatment, lunch. I forgot breakfast, but lunch. Practice, more meetings, and then, kind of coast through the rest of the day. You done around like 7.
When it comes to training camp, I think this is about tissue acclimation when it comes to training camp. Adapting the body to be prepared for game demands. We want to make sure that we're peaking and we're ready to go on week 1. And we got to do that progressively. So one of my main goals when we come to training camp is make sure that we create the best environment for that to happen. We need to get these guys that they're peaking on week 1 at their optimal levels. From a performance standpoint, from an availability standpoint, are critical. And then you got the tactical side that the coaches are doing to make sure that these guys are tactically ready and prepared. So you blend all those together, and that's a pretty big environment that we got to create. And that's our job, that when we come in this training camp, that we're making sure that we're making the appropriate steps to progress to get there.
A lot of maintenance work, a lot of just staying on top of my game, mentally and physically. I think that's what it takes, doing this 17 weeks, not just the summer, in season, out of season, it's like full time.
Going into 18, we had some injuries where we were going to hold guys out, and then you're saying, well, you don't want it to be a detriment to some of these other guys playing, and the approach we took, and then it just kind of organically turned into, if these guys have played a lot of football, let's try to create competitive situations, get as many joint practices as we can so that we can mimic and emulate game-like situations without the risk of, or while minimizing the risk of injury.
In order to push the human body, you got to be able to give it back. And there's levels in training camp where we need to really push it. But in order for us to push it, we got to allow the body to recover so we can push it again. And so you got to be able to undulate that and really appropriately progress that throughout training camp. And that's where your rest and recovery comes in. When do we need to rest, recover, and when do we need to push it? And really what's cool about that is, and I love what Coach McVay is, he really allows us to allow the bodies to recover. But ultimately he gets that back where he can actually have really good practices where these guys are running at high speeds and getting a lot of workload.
Very efficient way of going about keeping your players healthy, keeping your team healthy. It's worked for us. Obviously it's football, it's an imperfect sport. You can't, you're gonna have injuries and whatnot, but just the system that he applies is very effective, it works.
Of course, immediately the question was like, well, can they do it again?
Can LA repeat as Super Bowl champs?
It's no way to predict Super Bowl champions at this point, but this team will be in the hunt.
Things could be way different this year. We can both be 2 different teams, so I'm looking forward to it all. Easy games, hard games, bumps, bruises, because I know what it feels like to, not be able to go through that. So I'm looking forward to it all.